Texas A&M 1-2 in that conference. Brandon Miller, shooting percentage wasn't great, but he hit big shots again. He is a big-time player. It'll be a tough one. First and second round games in Orlando, Florida on Thursday and Saturday. The 5th seed Aztecs of San Diego.
Oh, man, looks like we're getting the brackets right now, and teams are celebrating across the country. Hey, welcome to the voice of college football. College football, yes. And let's check out the brackets. I don't want to disrupt anyone here. Of course, you guys are locked in on the brackets and want to win $1 million or whatever the giveaway is. So to somebody out there that's listening right now, nail it. Be the one. Be the one with a perfect bracket. Has anyone ever done that? All right, we're in the South region with Creighton and NC State, and I'll tell you in just a second because I know you're locked in on the actual real brackets involving basketball, but what we're going to do with all of this from a football standpoint. We are going to approach it from a football standpoint, and, of course, I will invite all of you to come in and talk, whether you want to talk the football end of it or talk the reality on the basketball floor, and we'll talk basketball. Baylor and UC Santa Barbara. Have we been exposed to any football matchups yet? Because we will make football matchups out of all of these. We've got Mizzou out of the SEC with 28 wins, playing a Thursday game against Utah State. So there's a little football matchup there that we could size up between Mizzou and the Aggies. 7-10. 7-10. I got to think the Sevens win about what? About 55 to 60% of the time. Arizona, the Wildcats and Jed Fish. There they are. The Wildcats bear down. Okay. They've got a nice seed. What are they? They're the 2. Oh, they had a nice season. Did they win the Pac-12 championship? They must have. Taking on Princeton. Is that Pete Carrill in Princeton? All right, who's here? There we go, Hummus Hero. Thank you so much for that. West Virginia, Maryland. West Virginia, Maryland. Okay, we can talk about that football matchup. And again, we're going to talk basketball as well. Okay, Bama, Texas A&M, CC/Southeast Missouri State, one of those. And this has really screwed up the brackets in recent years, has it not? That they have this first in, final 4, last 4, whatever you want to call it, with the 65 through 68 team. So you really can't fill out a bracket. How do you really get around that? You've got to pick games that and involve teams that may not make it into the, and I would love to hear from Clark Kellogg here and the former Villanova coach, can't remember his name, Jay Jay. Can't remember his name right this second, but Clark Kellogg, I would love to hear from. But we've had copyright issues in the past, so we don't want to have like some little sting from Capital One show up and me get dinged by YT here. We will probably look back here on the set is what we will do, and we will rearrange based on basketball matchups. How about that, man? We're pulling no punches. We're sparing no expense. We're going full throttle here. And who's the next to hear? I don't recognize all of these. Of course, the big basketball schools that are not football schools are going to be difficult for me to recognize their logo because I've not watched a basketball game. Well, I can't say that anymore because I kind of watched 4 basketball games over the weekend. Kind of. They were on in the house. Ohio State, Wisconsin. Buckeyes won that one, first round of the Big Ten tournament. Of course, they had to win the Big Ten. Yeah, Jay Wright. Thank you, Jason. Jay Wright. Man, I would have known that like the back of my hand 10 years ago, but he has left my consciousness. I have not seen or heard from the man in like 10 years. Did they not? I was in Las Vegas the night of the North Carolina Villanova national championship game, and that was in 2017. I was in Vegas, but my buddy and I, we did not watch 1 second of it. And I believe that was the last second shot, right? Carolina won. John does not want Michigan to play in the NIT. I've seen similar comments made by our buddy Steve Dace that he's just like, in the basketball season, just this has been a debacle. Don't want to see it. Yes, Hummus Hero. West Virginia, Maryland, a football rivalry. Yes. But yes, that's the last time I gave Jay Wright any thought would have been Nova in the championship game in 2017. I'm in Vegas having a good time and did not watch that game. But over the weekend, yes, I had the Ohio State Wisconsin game on. I'm not going to say I really watched it. I had it on. I was keeping an eye on it. Then they win this game, surprisingly, against Wisconsin. And then who's on the bubble, right? Is Wisconsin in? Did they make it in or are they on the bubble? I know they're on the bubble, but we'll see if they made it in. I think that was probably their death knell when they lost to a bad Ohio State team. And then the next game was the Ohio State Iowa game. And again, didn't really watch it, kept an eye on it. Then the last 2 minutes I locked in because it was pretty close. Ohio State won that game, pulled off the upset. Then the next day, took on Michigan State. I had it on. These are the first basketball games I've had on in a long, long time. And then yesterday, I watched quite a bit of what I did was I got myself comfy on the couch and I kind of let myself, it was kind of like one of those golf afternoons on a Sunday where you're like, I'm going to watch some golf, but you know you're not going to watch golf. You know you're going to fall asleep. That's what I did with the Ohio State Purdue game is I used it as a nap time. And so I kind of checked out, but I watched quite a bit of the game as well. And Ohio State, credit them. They had a great weekend, but just you lose 14 out of 15 games. That's like it was Jay Wright. Yes, right there. Jay Wright. Thank you very much. He made the comment the other day that they had lost 5 consecutive games at the end of a season and still made the tournament. And I thought, teams still make a tournament. And we argue in college football whether teams are worthy when they go 11-2, whether they should be playing in a national championship tournament. And there's teams in college basketball that lose 5 consecutive games. Oh, Nova won the game against North Carolina. Okay. Chris Jenkins, not the Michigan defensive tackle, right? Okay, we've got our next region here in the Midwest region. These games are going to be in Birmingham, the Midwest in Birmingham. That makes a lot of sense. Houston, 31 wins, 3 losses. Number 1 seed taking on a 16. Is it still just the Virginia loss as a 1 seed is the only one in history against Northern Kentucky? So I wonder what game that's going to turn out to be in our football matchups. That's probably going to be like a Houston, Western Kentucky game. But we're going to watch all the brackets. And you guys can, obviously talk to yourselves about the basketball end of it. You can call me. Don't expect a lot of response. I'm going to listen. I'm going to be the listening audience for you. Oh, there's a nice little football matchup. There's our best football matchup by far so far, Iowa-Auburn. But I will listen to the basketball talk today. We will lift the ban, and we will talk some basketball if you would like. But you can also call because I'm going to be setting up football matchups for all these games. And again, we will take you through it. Miami. So there's a Miami team that can actually make the postseason? Really? Wow. They're taking on Drake. Where is Drake located? Drake. Aren't they somewhere like in Illinois? Drake? I used to know. So there's the dreaded 5-12 matchup. I think that has kind of cooled off. I think I've heard that somewhere, that 5-12 upset run that matchup had for a long time has kind of cooled off, and the 5 has dominated recently. Indiana against the mighty Golden Flashes of Kent State in a 4-13 game. Of course, Indiana and Bob Knight lost at one point in 1986 to Cleveland State. Okay, we've got the Cyclones of Matt Campbell taking on in Greensboro, North Carolina, another Midwest game in Greensboro, North Carolina, taking on Mississippi State or Pitt. Okay, there's a football game. Oh, there's a first and foremost a football game between the Bulldogs and the Panthers. Hail State taking on Pitt, and then the winner takes on Iowa State. So we've got a couple football games. Nice. Then we go to Friday, and I can see we've got a hardcore audience here. We've got a hardcore Voice of College Football audience. So I appreciate all of you being here. Probably most of our typical audience is scattered to check out the basketball or watch other channels that actually know what they're talking about. Xavier, 3 seed. So unless Cincinnati made the tournament in basketball, Cincinnati's going to be my replacement for Xavier, taking on Kennesaw State. Who did Kennesaw State play in football this year? They played somebody in the Power 5. Now we're moving on to the Des Moines region with Texas A&M. Okay, Jimbo must have had a better year than he did last season. Turned things around. Nice, 25-9. He would love to have a 25-9 record in the SEC. Texas A&M is taking on Penn State. Woo! There's our best football matchup. Texas A&M and Penn State. Wow. Oh, Texas, another football school. Cool. Oh man, they're looking for that Texas A&M second round matchup, aren't they? They really want that. Texas taking on Colgate. Doesn't it seem like Colgate? Are they always in the tournament? Okay, Colgate. All right, let's keep it moving here. Okay, yeah, we got all the matchups there. So I am so much looking forward to, in addition to hearing from all of you about the basketball portion of this, making football matchups about these. So we're going to take all the teams that are in the Power 5, the Group of 5, the FBS, and we're going to leave them alone. But we're going to have to replace all of the oddball schools like Drake and Kennesaw State, and we're going to take the closest, geographically, the closest out of the FBS to those schools. Jordan is letting us know that he's not too happy about Clemson being left out, I guess. If they are, in fact, being left out, I guess. We've got our Clemson football show here every Thursday night on the Clemson channel, folks, 7 p.m. Eastern time with Jordan and Tiger Paw Craven, of course. All right. I'm in need of some more brackets. Clark has just been an institution covering this tournament, huh? All right. Had a nice NBA career. Glockman 945, Roll Tide. Davis letting us know that Penn State took it to the buzzer for the Big Ten championship, and that was against Purdue, correct? Oh, so we had a Penn State Purdue final. Okay. SEC dog, Alabama #1 seed, I think. They're a basketball school now. Well, yeah. Avery Johnson still the coach? I don't know. Is Avery Johnson still at Bama? I always liked Avery Johnson. Entertaining guy. Optimistic, energetic guy. Loved him as a player. Avery Johnson, one of those just ballers, gamers. Okay, we'll have to pull up the graphic of the brackets here. Let's see. You guys let me know if you see any online yet, and we'll get them up here. All right, so these are the football matchups we already know about here. We've got a Texas A&M Penn State game. We've got a Maryland West Virginia game. We have Iowa and Auburn. We have Mississippi State against Pitt. Kind of cool. Texas A&M and Penn State played in the 1999 Alamo Bowl. And Penn State won that game. Maryland and West Virginia used to play all the time. Iowa, Auburn, off the top of my head, no. They have not played, maybe ever. Certainly not in the last, 50 years. Mississippi State and Pitt, don't recollect any of those games. But can anybody tell me what football coach in the last 50 years has coached at both Mississippi State and Pitt? Anybody? Who has been the head coach in football at both Mississippi State and Pitt? Anybody? We're back for more. Do we have more regions to go through, or is that it? Yeah, we do. We do. Okay. We have the West region with Kansas. Lance Leipold doing an amazing job with Kansas. Imagine Lance Leipold takes Kansas from that debacle of a program from Les Miles all the way to 6 wins in a bowl game, and now to a #1 seed against Howard. Where is Howard located? Isn't Howard somewhere around the DMV, like near Washington, D.C.? Okay, we got Arkansas. The Hogs are 20-13. They're a 8 seed. Oh, the old 8-9 toss-up game against Illinois. Well, Arkansas and Illinois. There's your bowl game. There you go. Illinois just played Mississippi State last year, and Arkansas 2 years ago played a Big Ten team. Penn State. That's our next football matchup there. St. Mary's and VCU. Seems like VCU always has a nice little basketball program. Oh, the UConn Huskies. Look at that, 4 seed. Jim Mora and the boys get the 4 seed against the 13 in Iona, which is in New York, right? Doesn't Iona have a bit of a, well, UConn's close to Albany. Oh, there's TCU, 6 seed at 21-12. TCU's playing in Denver on a Friday. They've got Arizona State, Nevada winner. So the Sun Devils and Ken Dillingham taking on Nevada and Jay Norvell for the right to take on TCU. Arizona State, Nevada. And if anyone would like to join the show, of course, grab the link in the comments section and give me a call. Rick Pitino, that's right. I did see that where Rick Pitino's out there. The Brett Bielema Bowl. Yes, good call, Hummus Hero. The Hogs and the Illini, the Brett Bielema Bowl. Yeah. Daniel believes that Penn State's going to make some noise. Northwestern and Boise State. Oh, there's a little football game. I looked at a mock selection earlier today. I just gave it a quick glance, and whoever put that mock selection together, they nailed Northwestern and Boise State. And there was one other matchup that I saw on here that they nailed. But Northwestern and Boise State, there's our next football matchup. Although for the Wildcats, it's been awful beyond belief. UConn, Iona, St. Mary's, and VCU. We're going to have to come up with 2 football teams to throw into those spots. UCLA taking on UNC Asheville. Did North Carolina not make the tournament? No North Carolina? They were bad this year? I've only seen Miami out of the ACC. I think that's the only team I've seen out of the ACC. Duke and Virginia are going to make it, right? They played in the championship game last night. Who is everybody's Final Four? Do we have any Final Four predictions out there? Have we gotten through all the? I think that was the last bracket, correct? Any quick final? No, we've got another bottom of the bracket, I guess. Oh, got to take a break, pay some bills. All right. So we're going to take in all the basketball. we're going to continue to follow the basketball side of things because it is actually basketball. And so if you want to call the show, and I will certainly listen to your basketball take, but we're going to translate all these into football matchups. And some of them have already been made for us, but other ones we're going to have to play around with a little bit. We're going to take the closest geographical location to the team in question, and we'll take the nearest football school and put them in that place. Daniel likes Maryland in an upset. And yes, Frank, unfortunately, Ohio State will not be participating in this football little fun little game we've got going here because the basketball team was no good until it was too late. If they would have played basketball the last 2 months like they played over the weekend, then they would be right there. All right, so helmets. We know we've got none of these teams have I heard. Tennessee's going to make it, right? They're going to be in. Ole Miss fired its coach. I heard that. Alabama. Man, we don't have too many good basketball teams here. Very, not many to choose from here. We got Texas. Throw them in there. Got Texas A&M. They're in there. So UCLA. Kentucky's going to make the tournament, right? Kentucky. That's about it. I think that's about it. Yeah, I saw the Purdue Center. That was impressive. Texas is playing a toothpaste school. Yeah. Good for your fluoride. Good for the gums to go to Colgate. Hummus Hero. Thank you. I forgot my alma mater. So, yeah. Anyway, they'll be in the second row. There's Purdue. No Purdue football helmet. How about that? All right, Purdue. We're in the East region. So we're going back through to the lower half of the bracket, I guess. Purdue's got a short little trip to Columbus, Ohio, to take on Southeast Missouri State and Howard. Then we've got our next game coming up here would be a 8-9 matchup with Memphis at 26-8, 8 seed. Then we see Florida Atlantic. Are they a 9 seed? All right. There's a very under the radar football matchup, FAU and Memphis. So we can keep that as a football matchup. The first one we're going to have to play around with. Fairleigh Dickinson. They've got an NCAA tournament history, don't they? Texas Southern sure does, of course. We all know what they did in 1966. Did anyone answer my trivia question about who has been the head coach for both Pitt and Mississippi State since they are playing in the round of 4? Duke! What a job Mike Elko did. Phenomenal. Taking on ORU. I always found it kind of interesting that Oral Roberts, thank you, Whoa Nelly College Football Game. Well done, Jackie Sherrill. At Pitt first from about 1979 maybe 1980, 81, 82. Then he went to Texas A&M. All right, we got Duke and Oral Roberts. Then we've got the Vols of Tennessee. There they are on the top shelf, 23-10, taking on Louisiana. And I don't remember the coach who took over for Billy Napier. A little Sunbelt SEC, 413 in Orlando. Back to Greensboro in the mid. Oh, this is the East region. That's right. They got this weird pod system where you've got like a Midwest region bracket and an East bracket playing at the same site. Kind of, that would really confuse me. And that would confuse, well, it's not that complicated. I get it, but would confuse, I'm thinking the fans, because you used to go to one destination and you knew everybody was in that region. Now you go to a destination and it's half one region, half some other region. Oh, I see the Rick Pitino Bowl is being played Friday in Greensboro with Kentucky and Providence, the Rick Pitino Bowl. The Friars, the Wildcats, winners of the Big 12 under Chris Kleiman. The Big 12 championship game winners. There they are, 23-9. I'm mixing my basketball and football if you haven't caught on. Taking on Montana State out of the Big Sky Conference. I'm guessing they were the champions as a 14 seed. That's pretty high seed, I think, for the Big Sky. Now we dip down back into Columbus, Ohio, and we see, Sparty, Tom Izzo. Of course, he certainly made his mark in March. This is kind of Tom Izzo's month. Maybe not recently, but how many Final Fours has that guy been to? 10 or 11? Taking on USC. Oh, there's a football matchup. A Big Ten matchup in 2024. I like that. Michigan State and USC. All right. So we've got our USC helmet that needs to come over here. Then we've got the Golden Eagles and Frank McGuire of Marquette. The 1977 national champions, of course. Marquette was 28-6, taking on Vermont. Vermont pulled off one of those classic upsets, right? That was against Syracuse. Vermont and Syracuse, the Catamounts. All right. Have we made it through this field yet? Frank says Marquette's good. JC says Bama has guards that are like 6'7". Well, of course they do. They've got guards at 6'7", and they're like 310 pounds, 320 pounds. They're probably going to get drafted high for guards. All right. Is that it now? I don't have the sound up, so I'm guessing there's still 2 left. They got to go back around. They've done 6 of 8. Two to go. All right. I like the future Big Ten matchup, Michigan State, USC. I saw a graphic online today that predicted that the Big Ten would have the most teams, that the Big Ten would have 9 in the tournament. And look at how much the Big Ten basketball is going to be bolstered by. Okay. Well, it looks like they're done. Is that 16-7 is 23, 33, 37. Shoot. Last 4 in, first 4 out. Sorry, Oklahoma State. Sorry, Rutgers. Sorry, North Carolina. Sorry, Clemson. 4 football schools. Yay to Mississippi State, Pitt, Arizona State, and Nevada. You all squeaked in, but have to play, of course. So Oklahoma State, Rutgers was a top 40 team in terms of net rank. They lost to Purdue by only 5 points. And Paxton is saying that Purdue should have been in there. Joey letting us know that we've got a basketball bracket challenge to win a prize for first place and some gear, some swag, folks. Some swag courtesy the voice of college football. So head on over, grab the link, play our little basketball bracket challenge. I will be playing as well. I will be, which you all can tell that you're basically all playing for second place because, my basketball knowledge is beyond reproach. Just cannot be questioned in any way. JC says Clemson got robbed. Man, we're up to 68 teams now. And I guess teams are still getting robbed. That's all of them, right? Let's see if we can find the brackets. And I do believe that the big women's unveiling is coming up tonight. I think we'll want to check in on that. Okay, are these the brackets? Does somebody have them? No, that's who's going to get these online first? CBS. You would think CBS would have them online first before anybody else. Do they? Do they? No. All right. If somebody can let me know the first brackets that you see online. ESPN. Do you got a bracket? Do they have a bracket? Oh, they got the brackets on ESPN. Are those correct? No. This looks like it's Maryland's not playing Florida Atlantic. No, this is a guess. No, they need to take this down. This is not Arkansas, Illinois. That looks right, though. No, this is not correct. This is not correct. So ESPN needs to correct its site. Cannot be having mock brackets up anymore. Going to another site. No, nothing there. Oh, Tim's got it. Let me see if I can copy that. I don't know if I can. Let's see if I can. NCAA.com March Madness live bracket. NCAA.com March Madness. NCAA.com March Madness live bracket. Oh, yeah. There it is. Tim, you're all over it. Tim and the guys tonight. Tim and Rick. Tonight, talking USC football, maybe basketball, whatever they want to talk about. They have free reign. It's Trojan Conquest, episode number 2 tonight, right here at the Voice of College Football on the USC channel. All right. So, our basketball games are obvious to see, but what would our football games look like? Well, who does Alabama play? I don't see their 16 matchup. Who does Alabama play? Willie has let us know that South Carolina is the number 1 seed in the South for the ladies. Yes. All right. I'm going to have to look up to see who does Bama play. All right, Jordan, listen up because the director of the committee is going to let you know, the committee chair is going to let you know why Clemson was snubbed. Alabama is playing. Huh. Can't find it. Well, yeah, Faith. I'm sorry, Faith. I understand the process. I know that they're playing, the winner of a game. But give me the two. I can't find the two teams that are playing that they would play. Anybody? Anybody? Alabama is playing the winner of Texas A&M Community College, whoever they are, CC, Texas A&M against Southeast Missouri State. So if Texas A&M was not in the field, then we would put them in that game against Alabama. But who would be the closest? Who's the closest football playing school to one of those two schools? We'll get back to that one. All right. We got the Maryland Virginia game or West Virginia game. We're all set there. San Diego State, the College of Charleston. Where's that located? Charleston, I assume, but I mean, let's see if we can determine the closest. Well, since South Carolina does not have a team in the field, who is closer, Clemson or South Carolina, to the College of Charleston? South Carolina. Scott will take South Carolina. So our next football game is going to be San Diego State against South Carolina. You guys can always call the show if you'd like. I've left the link in the chat. So we got a San Diego State, South Carolina game. So that's our football conversion right there. Then let's see, we've got Virginia and Furman. Furman's somewhere in like South Carolina as well, correct? Oh, Greenville, South Carolina. Okay, so who's going to play for? I guess there's your Clemson matchup right there. You put Clemson in there for Furman. So we got a ACC game. We've got Virginia and Clemson playing, and we've got San Diego State and South Carolina. All right, Baylor and UC Santa Barbara. So I got to think that UC Santa Barbara is closest to Fresno State, probably. Faith. Thank you so much for the information, Faith. I hope you realize I'm just kidding when I make those comments. Yes, Corpus Christi, I know. Yes, I was making just a little light of community college. That's what it looked like. Yeah, I had that up there. So we replaced those two teams for Alabama, the Alabama game. All right. So now we've got, we've got to find a team for Baylor to play. And Santa Barbara, in terms of football, are they closest to Stanford, Cal, San Jose State, Fresno State? Well, I guess we're going to see here. Who knows California well? Hummus Hero, thank you. Nebraska can take Creighton's place. Perfect. And, UC Santa Barbara is Further south than I thought it was. Okay. Well, that can't be USC or UCLA because they're already playing. And it can't be San Diego State. So I guess we're going to go with who's the furthest south out of Fresno State, Stanford, and Cal? I'm going to guess Fresno State, right? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So Fresno State is the most southern of those schools. So our next game here that we're matching up to find a football team to replace the basketball team is we've got Baylor taking on Fresno State. That's our next matchup right there. That's Baylor and Fresno State. All right. Then we've got Arizona and Princeton. No, we got Mizzou and Utah State. We'll keep that exactly as it is. Mizzou and Fresno State, or Missouri versus Utah State, Mountain West and SEC. So we'll stay with that game. Now we've got to find a team for Princeton. I'm guessing we're going to go with like Rutgers. We can make Rutgers the replacement, right? Yeah. We'll put Rutgers in there. So we've got an Arizona Rutgers game. Is following me on this? This was my idea to mix the basketball and the football. Hey, why not? Yes, Rutgers would be the closest. I'm almost positive here. So we're going to go Arizona Rutgers. Okay. Next up, we've got Purdue. Why don't they put the other? It's annoying. Purdue and somebody. So we gotta find the Purdue game. Purdue. Purdue was playing. Purdue is playing. The winner of the Texas Southern Fairleigh Dickinson play-in game. Well, Texas Southern, maybe we can put Texas Tech in there. How's that? Purdue, and I'm taking a shot at that. Texas Southern sounds like they would be close to Texas Tech, but Texas Tech is closer to the top end of the state. But Baylor's in the tournament. TCU's in the tournament. Texas is in the tournament. So I think we pretty much have to go with gotta go with Sono Fusarek is telling us that Temple or Villanova is closer to Princeton. Well, Villanova's not a football playing team in FBS. So maybe we go with Temple. I'm going to take your word for it. There. Temple distance to Princeton. It is what? No, that can't be right. Wait, oh, no. We'll just, okay. Not Temple, Maine, or Massachusetts. It's in Philadelphia. We'll just put that. Philadelphia to Princeton. 51 minutes from Philadelphia. Is that Princeton, New Jersey? Okay. 51 minutes. Okay. Versus Piscataway. Driving distance to 51 minutes. Whoa. Our buddy here, Sono Fusarek, According, if I'm doing this right, we've got only 35 minutes from Rutgers to Princeton. 35 minutes. So we're going to stay with that. We're going to stay with Rutgers taking on Purdue or Arizona. Purdue and Texas Tech. Texas Southern's located in El Paso, right? Texas Southern is located in Houston. Really? Okay, I didn't know that. Texas Southern's in Houston. Well, we don't really have too many options that are close. So we're going to go with Texas Tech because Houston's in the tournament, Texas, Baylor, TCU, all in the tournament, even though probably LSU's closer. LSU's probably closer to Houston than Lubbock is. Baton Rouge to Houston. 271 miles, 4 hours. Lubbock to Houston is 8 hours. Good Lord, Texas is huge. I knew that, but man, what do we have here? We've got the number of games that have been won by the overall seeding. I guess that's what that is. That's pretty interesting. That is really interesting. If I'm reading that correctly. No, that's not what that is. I don't know what they're giving us there. Kansas 3, Howard 64. Oh, overall seed. All right, so we've got we're going to go with LSU actually taking the place of Texas Southern against what game was I looking at there? Where were we go? Oh, for the game against Purdue. That's going to be LSU. Purdue and LSU. I think they played pretty recently, didn't they? Wasn't too close. All right. This overall seed, I've never seen them do that before. That's kind of interesting. The overall seeds there. Illinois and Arkansas 30 and 36. All right, Memphis FAU, we can let that one go. We'll stay with that. Duke and Oral Roberts. So Oral Roberts is close to Stillwater, right? So Oklahoma State fans, wet blanket, if you're still with us, never fear. You are back in the tournament. You're in the football tournament. Oral Roberts University. Oh, it's in Tulsa. That's right. Well, it's right in Tulsa. So that's who's going to be in that game. That's going to be, yes, Duke and Tulsa. Sorry, wet blanket. You're back out of the tournament. Tulsa. Yes. Oral Roberts is in Tulsa. Good call there, Jason, with Louisiana Lafayette close to Houston, Texas Southern. All right. Well, yeah. So Louisiana Lafayette, but isn't Louisiana Lafayette Louisiana? They're just Louisiana now. They're in the tournament. So anybody who's already in the tournament, we're not using them again. Okay. So if they're in the tournament, they're staying in the tournament. So they've already got a spot. All right. Duke, Tulsa, Tennessee, Louisiana. There they are. We'll stay with that. Kentucky and Providence. So sorry, Providence. We need a football team for you. And I guess we're going to go with this is a hard one right here because UConn's taken. We're going to have to go with we'll go with Boston College. We'll go with Boston College right there. Kentucky and Boston College, they're going to play. And then we've got Kansas State and Montana State. Okay, who's going to play for Montana State in the FBS? That sounds like, okay, Boise State's already in. Montana State, maybe Wyoming. K-State and Wyoming. How does that sound to everybody? K-State and Wyoming. Thanks, Scott. Boston College. I almost went with UMass, but I think we're going to need UMass somewhere. Sonoficeric, thank you for the UMass suggestion. I don't want to look up. That's in Amherst, correct? Let's just look it up. I'm kind of a geography nerd. I'm curious. Amherst to Providence. Has anyone driven to Providence? Like when I used to, so my daughter went to school at the University of Rhode Island. I, of course, lived in Connecticut for 21 years. And so made my trek there to Providence a number of times. And it's just amazing how small that state is. You can be in Providence and you can be at the state line in 15 minutes. And yeah, it's just amazing to me. So the distance from, I'm surprised. Oh, Amherst is down at the other end of the state. So Providence is closer to Boston. Amherst, that's right. Amherst is way above Springfield in the middle of nowhere. I thought UMass was closer to Boston. It's close to Vermont. All right. So Providence is much closer to, let's be technically right, Chestnut Hill, which is only 51 minutes away. So that's Boston College. Again, we're going to go with Kansas State taking on Wyoming. Oh, Michigan State, USC. That's just flat out. Yes, Felipe, Lamar Odom went to Rhode Island. Good call there. With also, who else was on that team? His name was Wheeler. Who was on that Lamar Odom team? I can't think of his name. He was a really good player too. Lamar Odom's sidekick with Rhode Island. Yeah. We're talking like 1998. Let me look that up. Does anyone know before I look it up? Can't think of his name. Catino Mobley, right? Didn't they play together? Am I right? Didn't they play together? Catino Mobley and Lamar Odom? Tyson Wheeler. I nailed it. Catino Mobley. Look at that. Voice of college basketball right here. Just name 3 guys on the 1998 Rhode Island team. Next time I talk college basketball with our buddy Corey Bratta, I'll say, can you name 3 players on the 1998 Rhode Island basketball team? All right. Yes. As John has just put into the chat, you can call the show. We can talk football or basketball. All right. So love the Michigan State USC matchup, of course. Any other matchups we got to correct? Marquette and Vermont. Well, we're going to take the easy way out with Marquette. That's, of course, going to be Wisconsin. And Vermont is going to be, this is where we're going to need, there's our UMass right there. Wisconsin and UMass. That's perfect. Vermont, UMass, they're close. Okay. Next up, let's go to the, where are we? That was one bracket. Okay, you guys, unfortunately, I'm sorry I cannot swing. Oh, yeah, you can see that. Okay. Houston and Northern Kentucky. All right, we're not going to get too crazy with distances here. We're going to make the easy swap, and we're going to go with Houston and Western Kentucky. And then we're going to go Iowa-Auburn. Perfect. Love that game. That's my second favorite game to Michigan State and USC. Iowa-Auburn. Love it. Okay. Sonoficeric, I know that he likes Cincinnati there, but we need Cincinnati for Xavier. Keep that in mind. All right. Miami's taking on Drake. Drake is in like Illinois, I think. Iowa. Okay. Iowa's in the tournament. Is Iowa State in the tournament? Yeah, they're in the tournament too. So we can't take Iowa or Iowa State. So who are we going to take for Drake? Where are they located? I gotta see them. Not that it matters. They're in Iowa. Yeah, they're right in the middle of Iowa. So give me a school close. Give me somebody for Drake. That's a tough call. Help me. Nebraska, I think we need them for Creighton. Minnesota, I guess I guess we're going to go with the mighty Gophers. Yeah. Northern Iowa. No, we're not going FCS. I said we wouldn't go FCS, but Joshua, thank you so much for playing along. That's the good selection there. But yeah, let's grab the Gophers. And we've got a Minnesota Miami game. I'd love to see that game. Wouldn't you guys like to see Miami and Minnesota play in football? Okay, next we've got Indiana and Kent State. Okay, we can leave that alone. Iowa State is playing who? Iowa State. Iowa State has the winner of. They've got that Mississippi State Pitt game. So we're all set there. That's awesome. Love that. Okay. Xavier, whom we're going to replace with Cincinnati. They're taking on Kennesaw State, which I have no idea where Kennesaw State is. Kennesaw State. I'm sure as soon as I see it, it's going to remind. Yes, of course. Georgia. Yes. So we've got a few options with Kennesaw State. Is it closer to Georgia or Georgia Tech? Located in Kennesaw, Georgia. What's our guess there? I'm going to say Georgia Tech. What do you guys think? Georgia Tech. Georgia Southern. All right, Kennesaw to Atlanta. 32 minutes. I don't think we're going to get much better than that. Yes, damn beast mode. Damn beast media, sorry. Yes. Felipe, giving me the thumbs up. Please, everybody, hit the like button. We appreciate it. So we've got a Cincinnati Georgia Tech game. How does that one strike you? When has Cincinnati and Georgia Tech played in football? I don't remember them ever playing in football. All right. Next up, Texas A&M and Penn State. Great game. We're all set there. Don't have to change that. Now we got Texas and Colgate. Texas and Colgate. All right. Colgate. Let's see who is closest. Probably going to have to go with Syracuse. Yeah, go with Syracuse. Good call, Scott. Even though Syracuse is like 4 hours from New York City, but I want to see this on a map. Hamilton, New York. Where are they? Okay, that doesn't tell me anything. Where are they located? Okay. Oh, yeah, Syracuse. Good call. Yeah, they're really close to Syracuse. I didn't realize that they were that far north in the state. And I think they're playing their first round game in Albany, right? Wow. That's not really fair to Texas, but don't know that a lot of people care. Colgate University driving distance to Syracuse. It's really close. I'm just curious. An hour. 53 minutes. Yep. So, all right. So Syracuse, they make it. Jim Boeheim or Dino Babers taking on Texas. Okay. Syracuse, Texas. All right. Look at all these football matchups that we're coming up with that these are like main football brands. And when have they ever played? Look at all these matchups we've come up with. When do they play? Minnesota and Miami. I'm in for that game. Cincinnati, Georgia Tech. Syracuse, Texas. Kentucky, BC. Arizona, Rutgers. Those first three or four. Okay. Then Kansas and Howard. Howard is close to the DC area, or it is right there, right? Yeah, Washington, DC. So who are we going to go with there? Is Maryland's already in the tournament, so we've got to find somebody else. Who are we going to go with there? Any suggestions? Who's going to replace Howard? Virginia Tech? Let's go with Virginia Tech, I guess. Old Dominion. That's a good call. Old Dominion. They're in Norfolk. Always had difficulty not saying it, but choosing between Norfolk. You hear this Norfolk, sounds a bit odd. Anyway, let's see. I'm sure Norfolk is close. Oh man, 3 hours and 5 minutes away. Maybe not. Maybe, let's see. Blacksburg. Oh, it's 4 hours. Man, that's a lot of distance there. Virginia's a big state. Navy. There's a heck of a call. Good job, Jason. I think, man, I didn't realize that Virginia's that big. That Blacksburg is 4 hours away from Washington, D.C. Wow. When I lived in Connecticut, I was like 5 hours away from D.C. That's crazy. Okay. I like this. Annapolis to Washington, D.C. That's a good call. Yeah, absolutely it is. 43 minutes. That is a tremendous call. Jason, nailed it there. Navy. So Navy is going to be playing Kansas. Okay. All right. Then we got Arkansas, Illinois. Good matchup. St. Mary's and VCU. Well, we got to come up with two there. Where are we going there? Yeah, Jason and I looked it up. 53 minutes. St. Mary's and VCU. Wow. So St. Mary's. So are we talking about the St. Mary's that is right at the bottom of Canada? Help me out here. I never really knew that St. Mary's was. The Cardinals. So it's the St. Mary's, the Gales. Yes, they're okay. They're in California. Thank you very much. Okay, I put in St. Mary's, and they're all over the place. Okay, St. Mary's, the Gales. Yeah, as soon as I saw Gales, okay, they're in California. So they're located. We're going to grab like Stanford or Cal. It appears. Let's see. This is going to be. Oh, my word. That's a terrible map. Moraga, California. Okay. Yeah, it's take your pick. Take your pick. Maybe San Jose State, Jason. That's a good call. I think it's probably closer distance to San Jose. 1 hour, 61 minutes. Okay, to Palo Alto, it's further. Oh, 56 minutes. Only 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes closer to Palo Alto. And then Cal Berkeley is, oh my goodness, here we go. Listen to this one. Moraga, California, where St. Mary's plays, is only 24 minutes from Cal Berkeley. So Cal is playing whoever we get to replace Virginia Commonwealth. That was a close one, huh? That was a close one between Cal, Stanford, and San Jose State. A lot of schools right there. Okay, VCU is located. Oh, shoot. I used to know this. Oh, it's in Richmond. Okay, so they're in Richmond. I think we're going Virginia Tech on this one. Richmond. Three hours. I think we're going Virginia Tech and Cal. There's a bowl game for you. I can't remember them ever playing. Virginia Tech and Cal. All right. Then we got UConn and Iona. Okay, we got to come up with another Eastern school. This is what becomes difficult because there's a lot of good basketball in the East, but there's not a whole lot of football. So we've used up most of our New Rochelle. Yeah, I've been there. New Rochelle, New York. We don't have anybody. Help. We've used Rutgers, UMass, Boston College, UConn, Syracuse, Army. Oh, forgot about. Yeah. Good. That's easy. I'm just curious how close they are. That's oh man, that's real close. Which reminds me, the next time I go to Colorado, I've got to take up Mr. Troy Calhoun's offer to show me around campus. Even though I've been around campus, he give me the kind of the first-rate tour of the Air Force Academy. New Rochelle, New York, distance to West Point. It's real close. Yeah, it's an hour. All right, so we got Army playing UConn. All right, well, they've played before. TCU, who is their game? We're having to do this for more teams than I anticipated. TCU, their game is against the winner of, if I can get through a paywall here, TCU is playing, oh, that's right, Arizona or Nevada. We leave that alone. We're good. Thank you to Real MVP. Okay, so we're all set with that one. Next up, the Real. I don't know if you know what we're doing here, but we are building football matchups. So our next one is Gonzaga and Grand Canyon. Boy, we've got a lot of work to do here. Gonzaga is closest to maybe Washington State, would be my guess there. We go in Washington State for Gonzaga. What do you think? Or would it be Washington? They're in Spokane. From Spokane to Pullman is 1 hour and 18 minutes. That's not far. So it's closer than it is to Seattle. So taking the place of Gonzaga is going to be, it's 4.5 hours to Seattle. Is going to be Washington State. And they are going to play Grand Canyon. What do we just throw? This is either going to be, I got to think this is either going to be Colorado or Colorado State. Right? Oh, it's in Phoenix. Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't realize that. So Grand Canyon University. What are we going to do there? We've got Arizona's gone. Arizona State's gone. So you guys are saying Northern Arizona, no. FCS, we're going to leave them out. BYU or Utah? Phoenix to Provo, Utah is 10 hours. Man, there's a lot of space out there. Phoenix to Salt Lake City is, why didn't it give me the same? Phoenix to Salt Lake City is 10 hours and 44 minutes, just slightly further, about 45 minutes. So USC's in the field, right, Dave? USC's already in the field, aren't they? Isn't USC? They're playing, right? Utah State's already in the field. Yeah, we're not taking teams that are already in the field, so we've got to find somebody else. New Mexico. I thought about New Mexico or New Mexico State. Let's try that. Where in the heck are they? Albuquerque would be one of them, right? Only 6 hours, 6:22. Good call, Joshua. So whichever one's in Albuquerque. New Mexico State's in Las Cruces, of course. New Mexico is in Albuquerque. Okay, let's see. Las Cruces. Five and a half hours. So it is actually going to be New Mexico State. So New Mexico State taking on Washington State. Wow, we did a lot of work for that matchup. Okay, Northwestern Boise State, we're good to go there. UCLA taking on UNC Asheville. So this is either going to be Wake or NC State or North Carolina. I got to think it's going to be one of those three, right? Who do we think is closest to UNC Asheville or Charlotte? UNC, take your guess. Does anyone know that geography that well? UNC Asheville. So Asheville, North Carolina to Chapel Hill, Coastal Carolina. Good call. So to Chapel Hill is 3:20. to Wake Forest. Which is, of course, in Winston-Salem. I don't know North Carolina that well. 2 hours and 13 minutes. So it's closer to Wake or Raleigh. 344. It's closer to Wake or Coastal Carolina. I don't think yeah. Asheville's. You know what Asheville's closer to than any of those schools if they weren't in the tournament would be Tennessee, Knoxville. Yeah, Coastal Carolina is way too far. I still want to see what it is. It's almost 5 hours. Good call on App State, which is in I'm drawing a blank. It's in Pine. Oh shoot, what's the name of it? Crap. Boone. Yeah, Boone, North Carolina. Asheville. Bam. That's your call. Good one. Who came up with that one? I think that was Dave. Good job. That's App State. We're learning geography. You get your education right here at the Voice of College Football. Dan Beast Media, good job. App State is our replacement for UNC Asheville to take on UCLA. All right. I'll have to draw all this up when we get done to correct all of our matchups. That's everybody? Did we go through the whole thing, or is that just one? I thought I just went through like one. No, I guess we got to everyone. Yes, we did. Look at that. So, all right, let me get this off the screen. While I'm searching for this comment to try to get it off the screen, have you guys checked out any of the power blocks that we've aired during some of our live streaming? Do you guys have any opinions on that? We'll continue to do that. Maybe I'll do some themes. Yeah, I was kind of thinking of a Rogers versus Dace, Mark Rogers, Steve Dace block, and really going back into the archives and putting together a long block of myself and Steve Dace and making a big long block of that. All right. So let me know what you think of our power blocks right here at the Voice of College Football. All right. So these are our newly formed matchups for football. So that one's already in play for basketball and football, Texas A&M, Penn State, as well as Maryland, West Virginia, also Iowa, Auburn. Also, of course, in the first four, Mississippi State, Pitt, SEC, ACC, Arkansas, Illinois, Arizona State, Nevada, and Northwestern Boise State. Okay, these are the newly founded games here. San Diego State and South Carolina, Baylor and Fresno State, Mizzou, Utah State, Arizona, Rutgers. I did not build graphics for the rest of these, but I certainly could. We've got Clemson and Virginia. We also have Arizona and Rutgers. Big Ten, Pac-12. We also have a matchup of Purdue and LSU. And I've run out of space. There we go. Purdue and LSU. Kentucky and Boston College. Not exactly too much to get excited about there as it currently stands, but yes, Kentucky and Boston College is our new matchup there. Kansas State and Wyoming. Another little matchup for us. We also have Wisconsin and UMass. So the Badgers get an easy first round matchup there. Houston and Western Kentucky. Hilltoppers taking on Dana Hogerson and company. I like this matchup. Minnesota and Miami. Mario Cristobal and PJ Fleck. Cincinnati and Georgia Tech, of course. Put that matchup together as well. And I don't have any more space. The UCLA game against Appalachian State. Washington State versus New Mexico. Yikes. Cal and Virginia Tech. Wilcox and Brent Pry going at it. About Navy and Kansas. And I continue to have to delete as we go through. So you get the deal. You get the gist. There it is. All right, folks. Appreciate you being here at the Voice of College Football. That was what we put together today. I figured, hey, if people want to talk basketball, they can come on here and talk hoops, talk about all the big matchups, and of course, join us in our NCAA bracket challenge here at the Voice of College Football. Also, of course, we wanted to talk football as well and give you that opportunity as well. So you get the football side of things as well as we put together some fun football matchups. Maybe I'll put together a little brief description on this and throw a video out there. Maybe not. All right, folks, we're going to be back at 9 Eastern for our West Virginia live show. We also have our USC show with Rick and Tim coming up at 8 Eastern over on the USC channel. So please check that out. Our next show, Trojan Conquest Live. There it is. All right, folks, the lineup for the next few days. Again, we'll be back here in just a few hours for West Virginia Live right here at the Voice of College Football on the main channel at 9 Eastern with Golden Blue Dude. Tim and Rick. Tim Prangley, Rick Anaya, Trojan Conquest Live, as you see right there, 8 Eastern on the USC channel. Then, of course, be back here Monday at 6 Eastern for Big Ten Live. And that again is at Monday at 6 Eastern time. We are working on a lot of great things here at the Voice of College Football. We are, of course, in the midst of March Madness, but guess what? We are 1 month away in April of a huge spring football month and spring games every Saturday. We will be live every Saturday. And I'm excited to announce that in May, it's going to be debate month. May debates here at the Voice of College Football. All the great college football debates we are going to have at them. So if you have any debates in college football that you want us to set up, we will do so. So let us know the great debates. So I'm thinking the Michigan, Ohio State controversial call in 2016, that type of thing. So great debates in college football. Serve them up. Give me the ones that you want to see laid out and debated, and we will do that in the month of May. Oh, we got Dan Beast Media here. Hey, Voice of College Football, which Facebook page is the correct one? I see two. Well, there's a long story to that, but we won't go through that. So let me see. It is, you want to grab here, is follow us on Facebook right here. I have put the link right there in the chat. Yes, D-Rock Irish, these debates could be fire. So any debates, the one I can think of regarding a Notre Dame game, doesn't have to be specifically about a game, but Notre Dame, Miami, the 1988 game, a lot of controversial calls in South Bend on that day that led to a Notre Dame national championship. And what was one of the great games of the century, 1988, of course, Notre Dame and Miami, a good one to debate. But yes, I've got a list already made. I've already got a list of about 10 or 12 great debates that we are going to have. For many of them, we are going to be going to the videotape as well. So if we had a pass interference to review, or if we have a catch or a fumble to review, all of those sorts of things, we will go to the videotape. So should be a good time. May is debate month here at the Voice of College Football, following April, which is spring football galore. Every Saturday in April, starting with Michigan on April 1st, April Fool's Day. So maybe we'll plan some pranks for the Maize and Blue. But on April 1st, that Saturday, we are blowing out Michigan full throttle. And then the other teams will have to share, because there are 15, 20, 25 teams each week during the month of April that we will be on the field each Saturday. So we will do as much as we possibly can. You know us. All right, 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll be back here with Gold and Blue Dude to talk West Virginia and college football with all of you again, coming up at 9 o'clock Eastern time. And don't forget our 8 o'clock. Will wants to jump on here. Yeah. So somebody pass him. Does somebody have the link? No, he doesn't want to come on. Okay. Very good. All right. Everybody have a good night. We will see you back here at 9 o'clock Eastern time here at the Voice of College Football. Keep it locked in. Tell people that we are here talking college football with all of you. Please subscribe. We'll see you soon. Sorry, Will. We are wrapping up. We had fun. We basically talked basketball at the same time as talking football. We took all of the basketball matchups and we converted them to football matchups. So if it was, for example, Auburn and Iowa, bam, that's just a football matchup. Easy. But if it was another matchup where there's not a football team for that basketball school, then we had to go find a team. So we looked up, it was a geography lesson today here at the Voice of College Football, where we looked up a football school that was the closest to that basketball school to replace them in a football tournament. It was fun. I thought it was fun. I had fun looking up, trying to replace the basketball schools. So we came up with, Will, you'll just have to check out some of the matchups we came up with. We had to come up with like another 20 different football matchups for the basketball games. There it is. All right, folks. 9:00 Eastern with Golden Blue Dude, West Virginia Live. And again, on the USC channel, 8 Eastern, Trojan Conquest Live. And we will see you soon.